Racism affects nations globally, all around the world, all the way to the deserts of Africa. All around the world, people die every second, and some of the time it's because of racism. We choose not to care when we actually can. 62 million people died from racism and movements in the last 100 years. Racial discrimination has been central to the upheavals and conflicts of recent times. In America, black people were segregated from mainstream society. They were given the lowest paid jobs, and they were made to sit in separate parts of buses, theaters, and restaurants. Great figures such as Martin Luther King stepped up to help. Formalized discrimination is much less evident as a result of the efforts of great figures such as Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln. But black people are still at a disadvantage. They do not have as many educational or employment opportunities as other races have. For example, the yellows, the whites, or the Caucasians. It is also important to remember that racism is an illusion caused by the propaganda and use by technology.
At this moment in history, because I believe deeply that we cannot solve the challenges of our time unless we solve them together, unless we perfect our union by understanding that we may have different stories, but we hold common hopes. And we may not look the same and may not have come from the same place, but we all want to move in the same direction towards a better future for our children and our grandchildren.
As far as scientific species go, no one is different. And we all somehow came from the same parents and divided to different continents and countries to adapt to the different climates of those places. That's why we look different. What if we will be remembered for being the pioneers who pulled racially discriminated people away from the shadows they have buried all these years about? Now is the perfect time to act and stop racial discrimination from existing. In fact, we are running out of time. We need to be ready to confront any racism if witnessed. If possible, at least 20% of people worldwide will be free from discrimination. Another point, instead of spreading racism across the world using technology, why not use it in a reverse order and influence people not to treat others differently? If you think not, think again. You are using valuable electricity right now, where hundreds of families could use or need. If we waste more time, we will not have any left. And I promise you, remember, every 3 seconds an African dies only because we don't care. So please do.